Hello everybody, welcome back. We're going to have a look at what's going on with the market basically, mostly Bitcoin, but I want to show you some examples of what could happen to altcoins based on what happened to altcoins the last time we saw a great rotation like this. This might not be the greatest rotation, but we have to be on the back foot for those who are still in altcoins or in a larger altcoin position right now. This is something that I warn about all the time, and especially for the Patreon members, they're probably bored of hearing me talk about it, but the lower we go with the Bitcoin dominance chart, the more likely it is to bounce. It's simple support resistance kind of thing, and it doesn't matter if you hedge into Bitcoin and get it wrong and then alts continue to go up. It doesn't really matter because you can always continue with the alt season or the alt party if it continues to break down. But if you hedge into altcoin, or if you're heavy into altcoins when we do finally get a bounce, then yeah, it's not going to feel good. So if anyone was around last year, this wasn't even that long ago, just over a year ago, we saw the same kind of thing happen. So Bitcoin dominance was in this very easy descending channel, and we were able to more or less play from 200 exponential down to what would be the bottom of this trend level here. We also had a very historical area of support and resistance, which was here. We also had an uptrend of support as well, and basically everything all merged into one area, catching a very, very solid bounce on this zone here. Pretty much like as heavy support as possible. You've got the bottom of the Bollinger Bands, you've got 3 levels of support based on 3 different TA examples of how this is going to play out. And so it bounced from here, and when it did bounce from here, it was a phenomenal bounce. Not just for the Bitcoin dominance chart, but for Bitcoin in itself. Bitcoin rallied 300% from September to January, and altcoins did not have a good time. You can see this when the dominance chart was going up so dramatically. This was a massive, massive run. Again, we're looking at this on a weekly chart, so over the space of what was this? A period of it's basically 3 months. Basically, we rallied 27, almost 28% for a Bitcoin dominance chart, all the way up to 74% dominant. That's a big deal. And then the obvious position to take here was out of Bitcoin into altcoins, which is where we've been for the majority of the year, and it's been amazing. So now the rotation looks like it wants to go the other way, and we're finding a very decent bounce on this level. And the obvious place is this level, because we bounced here, we're bouncing here, and the reason we're bouncing here is because in previous times we had a very, very big bounce here, very big. And again, this is a bear market bounce. It's kind of different. We shouldn't really be thinking about it in the same respect, but as far as supports are concerned, very big bounce, very big reaction. That was a bear market bounce. This is a bull market bounce, but support and resistances are still the same. So let's just have a look at what this did to some of these charts before we go into the details of what Bitcoin's going to do. So I just brought up 3 coins here. You know, top cap, I suppose medium cap, and probably top cap really, and low cap, not very low cap, but just wanted to bring these examples up because each one of these had a slightly different reaction last time this happened, right? Again, this is September we're talking about. We're talking about the September to January when Bitcoin did its 300% move. So Bitcoin did 300%. What did these altcoins do? So let's have a look at Ethereum. So the best example we could think of, you know, because it's a coin that trends and has been, you know, relatively strong. It got a lot stronger, obviously being an altcoin. So this is what happened here. So September the 1st, we dumped. And then what happened between here and December? Well, basically, for the most part, we'll be fair. We'll measure it from the absolute bottom so we can give it the best tune possible to sing to, all the way up until basically the 1st of September, the 1st of January. Oh God, it's a very annoying chart. All the way from, let's just say, not there, where were we? Here, weren't we? September the 1st, which is, to be honest with you, starts with a dump. But we'll start from the bottom, just to give it the best example possible, all the way up to January the 1st. It did a 131% move. Yeah, 131% move versus Bitcoin's 300% move. Alright, so that's okay. And again, we're being generous here, measuring from the absolute bottom wick to the top. Let's have a look at Chainlink. The Chainlink less of a coin than Ethereum, but still have been pretty good. So let's have a look. So this is this dump that we had. So we're measuring everything from September the 1st to January the 1st. So where were we on September the 1st? Well, it's not really fair, but we'll have to do it if we want to be fair. Now we started off with this dump. Dumped. Where were we on January the 1st? January the 1st, we were. Where were we? We were down here, weren't we? So actually, we're looking at we were actually looking at a chain link which was 22% down, 22.5% down versus Bitcoin's 300% up. Okay, fair enough. Let's have a look at how many won. Again, this is a coin that I've been doing very well in this year, in 2020. It was doing very well. Very nice big run, and that was all over. And that alt season had finished, and then Bitcoin began its march. We're measuring this from September the 1st, which again starts over here with a dump, which is unfortunate, all the way to January the 1st, which is this candle top here, with 51%, almost 52% down, versus Bitcoin's 300% up, right? So this is what happens. This is what happens in a rotation. Obviously, when we all know about alt seasons and what alt seasons are and what they mean, but essentially it's where money comes from, well, out of Bitcoin and new money, of course, into altcoins. Now, a rotation the other way is good for Bitcoin, and it has. The last time this happened, it was devastating, which is why I showed you those 3 examples, right? It was devastating, and it went on for 3 months. All people would have been doing who are stuck in those altcoins would have been watching Bitcoin going up, having the biggest breakout in years, the biggest breakout in years, so surpassing its previous all-time high, sailing up almost, well, it was 300%, just absolute phenomenal. And most people who were stuck in these altcoin positions were just watching from the sidelines, waiting for their turn, and it would have been frustrating. It would have been horrendously frustrating. For those of you who are able to play a Bitcoin dominance chart, would have been able to see this coming. And again, you see this coming, you could also see this coming. You see this coming, you can make the most out of both situations. All the way up in Bitcoin, all the way down in altcoins, absolutely destroying the market. This is the best thing to look at for a spot trader. And again, these sort of rotations don't happen very often. Once, maybe twice a year, both ways. But when they do happen and you get on the right side of these things, it's epic. Because at the end of the day, what we're looking to do now is ride this Bitcoin wave up to however high it wants to go. I'd be thinking of when this finally gets a rejection between 50 and 52% dominant. You better hope that it doesn't break up further than that, but it could come all the way up to here, 57, 58, and that would be devastating for us. And I'm all for that, to be honest, because I'm not trying to blow my own trumpet here, but I was saying a couple of weeks ago that I'd made the switch from a lot of my altcoins into Bitcoin. So taking profit on a lot of my altcoins, moving that into Bitcoin, and cutting losses on altcoins that weren't performing, putting that into Bitcoin, ready for what I saw being this rotation. And I do this sort of thing all the time when we come down to dominant supports. I do it all the time, just in case, because like I always say, it's a hedge against your risk. Because if Bitcoin dumps and we're at a support on Bitcoin dominance, your altcoins will get trashed way more than a Bitcoin position. If Bitcoin comes from a support on the Bitcoin dominance, your altcoins will underperform against Bitcoin. And so the idea is that you reshuffle your portfolio when you come down towards the support level on the Bitcoin dominance, just as you reshuffle into a larger altcoin position when you come up to a significant resistance on a Bitcoin dominance chart. So it's not being all in or all out of either. I've still got a lot of altcoins riding. They're in really good positions, really good entries, most of them from basically about a year ago. So I'm happy to leave those. To a large extent, however, I've taken profit on some of them, but again, never all in, never all out, just shaving some profit off and putting it into Bitcoin, reshuffling the Bitcoin amount that I have to about 60%, and then about 40% alts, and the rest is Tether and fiat. That's 60% Bitcoin, 30% alts, and 10% of fiat Tether. Anyway, it doesn't really matter what I've got. The idea is you can see what I'm talking about, and you can see why I do it, because this was horrendous and I never want to see that sort of thing again, and not be prepared for it, because my portfolio wasn't as equal as it should have been around here. I mean, I always have a large portion of Bitcoin, but it wasn't as big as possible. The Bitcoin dominance chart had never had such a dramatic effect on altcoins as it did this time round. So it was the first time I'd seen it negatively impact altcoins versus their dollar pairing. Normally what you see is that they trend, just as we saw with Ethereum essentially, they trend with Bitcoin. So Bitcoin leads the pack, it takes the sats away, but altcoins will still perform well or do okay, but not actually lose money versus dollars. But this time round, it was not the case. This time round, in the majority of altcoins, they lost everything. They were losing sats, they were losing their actual dollar value, they were losing a lot. There's only a few of the top caps that were able to trend with Bitcoin in this period, and none of them outperformed Bitcoin. So they don't want to ever see that sort of thing again, unless of course you're prepared for it, which is why I've always been trying to be prepared for it. And so I always say to people, especially on the Patreon, like I say, they're going to be very, they'll be sick of me saying it, because they say it every time we approach the support, like, get ready, this could be it. And even if it's not it, it's no big deal. But if it is a big deal. And so those who recognised the signs and like I say, listened to what I was saying and took action, will be pretty happy with themselves at the moment, and could easily continue with that happiness for a period of weeks or maybe even months. And again, the best case scenario is that we do sail straight through this and all the way up to this, and this is where we would then rotate into an altcoin position for an epic alt season, which would hopefully be the end of the cycle as well. So we're talking about more purchasing power, because you've got a Bitcoin which is worth 80, 100, 120, 200, whatever it is at the time, $1,000. And then we switch that Bitcoin into your altcoin positions, whether it's here, 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 or here, and make the most out of an alt season with way more purchasing power than those who are sat in alts at the moment that are just decreasing in their dollar value, in their Satoshi value. So I suppose it's a depressing video for those who haven't taken action. It's a very, very exciting video, I suppose, this what I want to talk about now, for those who did take action. And for those who did, congratulations. You are going to end the bull run with an absolute bang. For those who didn't, you're going to have a little think about how you're going to get through this. Because if we just go back to these charts, like I say, there's 3 months of pain. So what we're looking at here, this is your this is Bitcoin, and we're looking at, let's have a look at Ethereum. So this is your Ethereum chart, okay? So we're talking that September dump, so September the 1st was over here. So actually we didn't do Ethereum any justice. But what happened in December? The rotation took place again. So out of Bitcoin into altcoins for the phenomenal run. So it worked out in the end, didn't it? It worked out in the end for Ethereum. What happened to Chainlink? So here we are in your September alt season rotation from Bitcoin into altcoins, and it worked out in the end. And how many won, you don't need me to tell you, but it certainly worked out in the end, because you can't even see what happened back then. So it worked out in the end. So you better hope that it works out in the end, and I'm pretty sure it will. It just means that, for those who want to, for those who take trading seriously, and again, trading in the way that I do it, spot trading, isn't sitting at your computer all day, you're sweating into your keyboard, and looking at every last little piece of price action. That's not what it is. You're looking at weekly charts, you're looking at large swings, massive large swings in the market, and you basically alternate from a larger Bitcoin position to a larger altcoin position. And when the alt season comes, and when we get the rotation from Bitcoin into altcoins, that's when things get exciting again. We can start to revisit altcoin charts and go, this is a great setup, this is an amazing setup, this is a great setup. I'm going to use my highly valued, probably even overvalued Bitcoin, and I'm going to put it into these highly undervalued altcoins, and I'm going to do a 10, 20, 30x on my already inflated Bitcoin that I've got in. So it's pretty exciting stuff for those who did it right. And again, you don't need to sit at your computer all day every day to make these sort of trades. You really don't. I look at these things on a weekly chart. So what does that say? Do I look at this? How much time do I spend at my computer? Not very much, I can tell you that. Not much at all. Probably as much as it takes me to make these videos, and a little bit more, but really not much at all, because it's all about planning the trade in advance of the trade, not sitting around waiting for one to slap you in the face. That's not what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to think about what it is that you'd like to do based upon the momentum that's gathering on a weekly chart. Marry a few things together and work it out, make a decision. Again, I flipped into my larger Bitcoin position about 2 weeks ago. Yeah, it was about 2 weeks ago, maybe a little bit more. And look what's happened now. So again, that's something that I've been planning on doing pretty much all the way down on this alt season, just waiting for the next opportunity to flip into a Bitcoin position. I did it here, carried on, that's fine. We just alternate back into altcoins. Did it here, that's fine. We'll carry on back into altcoins. Did it here, which was good, because this is basically, the closer we got down here, the better. And this is where the May dump took place, and so I actually lost a lot less than most people stuck in altcoins. Anyway, you get the idea, you get the point, alright? So if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. Anyway, I'll leave you there. Thanks for watching. Join the Patreon and the Telegram, all the links in the description below. Take it easy.